Good evening, everybody, to all our Talent Academy players again, to our parents and to our coaches who are joining us on the call this evening. Just like to sincerely welcome you. Hope everybody has got back to school safely and you're doing your bit of work like we instructed previously around school and around sport and around family. Just the lineup for this evening will be Martin McDonagh. Martin is a tutor of ours in Galway GAA, Connacht GAA. He's a school teacher and he's a friend of Academy, coaching over the years in Galway football in the Gaeltacht. Martin will be talking to you about goal setting and career planning and that whole area of school and sport balance. So we're seriously looking forward to listening to Martin there in the next minute or two. In a fortnight's time, just to give you the thumbs up, we'll have JP O'Connell. He'll be dealing with setbacks in life and that whole holistic approach to your sport. And then my colleague Dennis Carr will come on there before this call finishes, and he'll address the updates there on the strength and conditioning programme, and he'll also address the updates on the athletic development, the running programmes. So look, I'm hoping that everybody is continuing to engage there. I'm presuming at this stage you understand the message on our culture and values and being a leader in your club, sharing some of these good practices and best practices with your fellow club mates, regardless of whether they're on this Talent Academy programme or not. So look, we'll sit back now and we'll take on board and absorb as much as we can the brilliant teachings here now from Martin McDonagh around the whole area of school and sport balance. Are you good to go, Martin?
All good, thanks. Gormíle Damien Augustinus, I was Fáilte Rúbalug in Seanocht. I'm going to talk about balance and sport, and it's a topic that some players do have difficulties with, from getting the two right and getting the balance right between the two. And there can be no doubt that there's many benefits to playing sport, from physical fitness and stamina, which goes without saying, to skills such as leadership, teamwork and responsibility. Sport has a huge positive impact. And playing sport has also been linked with improving your mood, reducing stress and better sleep, all which help with exam prep as well. Now, I wouldn't recommend abandoning the books in favour of football or the schlitter, but the evidence is pretty clear that exercise in between bouts of studying has a beneficial effect. Also, thinking a bit longer term, continuing to play sport can also help with long-term career prospects. And you can see there in the report from the ERSI that participating in sport in your final year, second level, can help you continue with your education after they leave school. And I find sometimes maybe students drop out in senior cycle when they need it the most. You know, you need time to relax and get away from the pressure. There's a lot of pressure with a lot of talk about points and all that. So it does help to get to both as good as possible. And also, on this slide here, you'll see that employers are keen to hire those who are involved in sport, and there's a number of reasons there. There's 9 reasons in total. I'll be talking about in detail about achieving the goals in a few minutes, and as well as that, determination, agile leaders, putting a strategy into action, teamwork, making huge sacrifices, and never give up attitude, performing under pressure, and motivation and commitment. Also, a study from a university in Sheffield showed that people who played sport earned more per year than those who didn't, and also had fewer periods of underemployment. So they're all important things to take on board. And sometimes you'd feel, some Leaving Cert students might feel, right, I'll opt out this year and put everything, I'll put all my time into the Leaving Cert. But I've been involved in academies, I think, over 12, 13 years now, and I've seen that the students can definitely do both with a bit of structure and a bit of planning. So I'm going to show you a short video here and discuss it in a minute about those sacrifices and planning and so on. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if the sound worked there or not, but that's an old ad from the Electric Minor Championship in 2014. But there's a lot of points. We could probably spend the whole presentation talking about that minute. But again, I'll go on just here to the journey success and mention a few things from that video. You can see in the upper part of the two diagrams here is your plan. But in reality, at the bottom there, you're going to meet a lot of obstacles along the way, a lot of setbacks, knocks, loss of form, illness, and so on. And what people don't see is at the bottom here, the persistence that's required. Again, you're going to fail from time to time. It could be in school, with not getting the results you want to get in certain exams, the sacrifice, disappointments, but what's required is the dedication, hard work, and good habits. And you could see a lot of that in the video that I just played there. So what's required is a growth mindset, and I won't go into this too much detail because I know you did a lot of this with Tony Og the last day. But you can see there on the right hand side what it's required. It's a lot of it's to do with I can't do it yet, but the most important word in the vocab is that it's yes, you can work on it. And for example, there in the top bit there, the skills in sport, that in the classroom, and the challenges you face, the effort you have to put in, feedback and setbacks. And again, especially the one with the effort, you will see improvements. The feedback then, that an important thing I find in sport is that players are coachable, that they want to take stuff on board, they want to improve, and the same in the classroom. Trust the teachers, take their advice on board, and you will see improvements. Okay? You'll see the quote here on the right hand side for Paul, who played, I think, 500 times for Barcelona in his career and got 100 caps for Spain. And he's quite modest here. He said he didn't have Mario's technique or Overmar's pace or Kluivert's strength, but he worked harder than the others. So that's all about the growth mindset and the application and the mindset he had. And he compares himself to a student who's not clever, but revises for exams and does okay in the end. Now, he did more than okay. And I think he was captain for 50 years for Barcelona. So they're the type of leaders that's required. Okay. Now, as Hubbard says here in the next slide, people don't achieve or reach their potential, be it in sport or school, because they fail to set goals. So goal setting is a huge part, and getting that structure done. Okay. So a thing I do at the start of the year with the students is in fifth and sixth year is I ask them what is their goal or dream situation when they finish school, and I'd say, look, be open-minded about it. What are you passionate about? What do you want to do? And just be realistic at the same time. Obviously, you can't become an Olympic swimmer if you don't swim. But again, there's a lot of things, and write them down and focus on them. And there's other ways of getting stuff. You mightn't get the points required in the leaving cert to do it, but you can go a back route entry and get there. It might take a bit longer, but you can do that. And studies have shown that students with goals accomplish 10 times more. So organising your goal by using the SMART goal system here, as you can see in the diagram. So the S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for timely. And I'll give you examples in the next slide of how that works. So again, the specific there, again, when you're going studying, and studying is something you do after getting the homework done, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But pick a topic or a poem and focus on that for the 20 minutes. Put the phone away, no distractions, get a room that's neat, not too warm, plenty of light, the whole lot, and work on that. And put everything into that, be it for 20 minutes or 40 minutes. And maybe reward yourself then after 40 minutes and take a break and go away for 5-10 minutes, come back and maybe go on to another topic. And it's the same in sport. Again, that you're working maybe on your non-dominant side. And the measurable then is the exam results. Now, in our school, what we do is we have exams every 10 weeks. So we call it the 10-10-10. And what I do with the students then, I get them to, at the start of the year, is predict what they're going to get. And maybe in 5th and 6th year, I'd be putting more emphasis on it. And I'd get the students there to think, right, what am I going to get around November for the midterm exam? And add up the points you get. And then they're discussing them with their fellow students. You'd hear them often at lunchtime, how do they get on the exams, and when they're adding up, then what points will be required. Again, it could be something like the tackle count in sport. Then the achievable there, I'll need to organise myself, listen in school, and study for how many hours a night I get my homework done. And again, that's something that's very important. And I know Tony Ove alluded to the diary. So that is something, again, I was listening to a podcast the last day from Jim Gavin, and he was talking about controlling the controllables. That's something you can control on a Sunday night, that you can sit down, spend half an hour to an hour on career planning and on structuring your week. Now, again, as you go back to the slide there at the beginning, the picture there, they're guidelines. It mightn't be exact, but it'll put you on the right road. And that you write down on a Sunday night that you have the uniform out, make sure all the homework's completed, you have your bag packed, get 8 hours sleep, have a proper breakfast. I know Jessica Lee put a huge emphasis on the proper meals and eating habits the last day. And again, when you're at school, that you're listening and focused. And again, in sport, that you are being coachable, that you're taking on board everything that's going on. Okay, the realistic then, that I have the ability, focus, determination to achieve these goals, the results required. And in sport then, it could be you working on your shooting or your game awareness. And timely then, I need to start today, as I've only how many days until the leaving cert or to the end of the year to the next exam. That don't be putting it off, okay? And the same with the returning to training, that you're now getting yourself ready, following the athletic development program that you'll be given, and getting the proper eating habits and so on, that you're going to be as well prepared as you can be for when you return. A few pointers here on how to maximize your week and get the best out of it. Again, a huge one I find is the school attendance. Make sure that you're there as often as possible, that you're there unless you're ill or there's some other reason for not being there. Because I find when, and teachers go on about this a lot, that you do retain the information better if you're there. The first time that there's a new topic, that the teacher is going through a new topic, teaching a new topic, that being there and that you will, and if you see the pictures here at the bottom, that you're that student on the right. I'm not saying that the fellow on the left won't be an engineer, but again, that you're there, that you're active in school, that you're listening. And that's something I say about, I compare it to the 40-hour working week. I say to the students, how many hours do you do at school? And I do it every year, beginning of the year, and the answer is 28 hours, and that's excluding break times. So you need to make up the 12 hours. Now, in first year, if you do an hour and a half, because there's a transition going on there. But once you go into second year, that you're getting close to the 2 hours done. But definitely from third year upwards, you will need to be doing the 12 plus, and that could be for homework alone. So study is something you do after you do your homework, and you do your homework well, and you have that plan from the Monday or Sunday night done out for the week, so there's no such thing as a free class. I always say that to the students. The teacher mightn't be in due to illness or away in extracurricular activity. They probably leave work, but they don't. That gives you time to catch up, okay? And that you're applying yourself, that you're not being distracted by others in the class. You need to be strong. You need to say, right, I have work here to do, and focus on that, okay? And again, that frees up time for that evening, maybe to work on skill work and to do that extra bit of study. So that's huge there. Creating your daily and weekly study timetable. It's huge, and putting the time in, and going back there to the plated meals you see in there. It takes a lot of planning. There was one of the players last year, I remember, with the Galway under-20s. Since he was a minor, and he'd have to go straight from school down to Donnchadha two nights a week. Never complained. It was only that I met his father by chance that he told me about it, and he'd eat that meal on the car on the way down because he couldn't predict how the traffic could be in Galway, and he'd ride down early in Donnchadha, and he'd give him that extra time to do a bit of stretching and prepare for training. Now, here I'm going to go through steps to help you for 7 simple steps to continuous self-motivation. And the first one there is to start simple. Keep motivators around you. Display your goals in the bedroom or the diary that Tony Oak alluded to the last day. Simple things like that, where you're going, and refer back to them from time to time. Okay? Again, keeping the motivators around you. I remember Eamon O'Shea came in to speak to the former Tipperary manager, and he spoke about that was hugely important. You're getting positive people around you, and you see in point number 2, keeping good company, seeking out positive motivate people. And Breach Corkery alluded to that the last day. She's an interesting character, and she alluded to have the positive people around you, and because there's so many people who want to pull you down. Because not everybody might be playing as much sport as you are. So again, they might have more free time, but you're going to have to make sacrifice if you want to do both to the standard that you want to. Okay, and just on what I'm talking about, Breach Corkery, she wasn't afraid to change the path that she was on and realised. I remember, I think she referred to going to college for 6 months, and it wasn't for her. And she went and she did something she loved. She was a stonemason for years and now a farmer. So again, doing something you love is important as well. 3 there, keep learning. Read about the careers you're interested in. It's all about research. And I'll show you some resources you can use in a few minutes. Which it's you're gathering information, and you can start that looking into careers from an early stage, from second years onwards, even in first year. 4 there, stay positive. Look for a solution. Find what works. See what works for you. Okay, that 8 hours sleep mightn't be enough for you. You might have to get more sleep. Again, that your study blocks might be shorter. They might be only 15 minutes, but that you have to take a break or go for a short walk for 10, 15 minutes and come back to another 15 minutes. Whatever works for you. Okay, you might first study early in the morning, or maybe in the evening, that you need to have a lie in at the weekend. Stop thinking, procrastinating, just go and do it. You need to get in there and start straight away. Tracking your progress, huge. I mentioned there the 10-10-10. When you have exams every 10 minutes, see where you're going. The results you get from the teacher. Going back to the growth mindset again, that you take whatever guidelines they gave you on board. And that you'll see, and they might have made changes or seen things that you need to work on, and take that on board. It will motivate you. Helping others, share your ideas and help others get motivated. Seeing others doing well should motivate you. And again, you might have a study group. You might work with 1 or 2 more. Now again, you don't want that group to get 2 more, and they might work on one topic, you on another, and the other person another topic, and that you share them with each other. Whatever helps, okay? But again, if the group gets too big, you might start losing focus, okay? If you're doing languages that in prepping for the orals, you might tape yourself and play it back, okay? Now, I'm going to move on to career planning and the benefits of early career planning. You're more likely, there's a better chance that there'll be a smoother transition to third level. More likely to have all the sports in place, financial, disability sports, and can identify career pathway easily, and more successful transition to employment. Some of the options that you have after school, and again, there's something for everyone. I'll start here on the right hand side with the level 8 honours degree. Again, when you were filling in your CEO, there's 10 options you can put down. You put them down in order of preference, what you really want to do. Forget really about the points, what you really want to do. And again, if you could end up getting your third, fourth choice. Maybe in the second round it might come down. So to look at that and put in this, if you could want it, there might be that course at a level 8 that you can do at a level 7 or 6. And again, that you anyhow you can progress after that. It might take a year longer, but again, that the option's there. And you fill in as many choices. It's the same price for putting down one choice as 10. So fill them in and do the research and look at the back route entry, the different ways of getting into courses. For example, the one that stands out to me is the primary school teaching. The points are fairly high, and again, that you might say I might do another degree, and then you can do the postgrad for 2 years. So it might just take a year or two extra. Physiotherapy, another example, that you come back to UL and do a postgrad in it, or medicine in a few years. Okay, that you get a degree that's related to it. Okay, the PLC colleges are brilliant here, the level 5s, and we're fortunate enough that in UIG and GMIT and all them come into the school speaking to the students about the course they have on offer, and they mention students that sometimes they come from the PLC course that works to their advantage in that they have a foundation. So if you're not sure what you want to do in college, you might defer your course if possible. You can't defer every course, but you have to speak to the college in relation to that, and that you might go and do a PLC course with a student years back who wasn't 100% sure about the course. I think he chose accountancy or business, and he deferred for a year to the PLC course, went into the accountancy, and a few years later went on and he's doing medicine now at the moment. UCAS, Unicas, if you want to go to England or abroad, the defence forces, the guards is another option. They're usually you probably won't get in straight after your leaving cert, but again, you can go on and do a degree or do an apprenticeship or something like that, and apply again at later and when they're recruiting every couple of years. Okay, a gap year or deferred, that's another option. If you're unsure what you want to do, and they're the apprenticeships, and there's huge amount of opportunities with apprenticeships. Again, get that you're thinking about. There's huge competition to get sponsorships, so someone to sponsor you. So what you've tried to do is speak to employers there and try to get that, and you go then and it takes around 4 years, and you come out with the level 6, and if you decide, you can go back to college then later on and change course if you didn't like it or something like that, and you can go back and after two more years in college you could have a level 8. Okay, questions to consider, very important, especially with subject choice or choosing courses. What are my favorite subjects? What am I good at? What are my interests and hobbies? And what would I like to do after school? So a key point there is getting to know yourself, self-awareness, the emotional intelligence there is huge. And there's a number of interest tests you can do in relation to that. Okay, and matching your interest with a working environment that suits you. And here, if you look here, we're gathering information. You could use the interest test on Careers Portal or the classroom guidance there. They're very, and again, your interest could change from month to month, so keep updating them, work on that. In our school, we use classroom guidance and Careers Portal, and again, from the results there, you can go and look at CEO courses that suit you. Okay, Qualifax then there is very important when you're researching the modules in certain courses. Why would I do a course here rather than another college, and so on? And you're comparing them. That you need to be looking at, and you do that information, maybe gather information on a Sunday evening outside of school. In UIG there, the Access website there, GMIT, Susie there looking to getting a grant, and there's a eligibility reckoner there that'll tell you if you're entitled to get a grant, and you can do that at any stage. Accesscollege.ie for here and there. You can speak to your guidance counsellor about that. Here again, if there's a few criteria you have to match. If you have a medical card, or you're attending a DESH school, or the area you're living in, and there then if you have a disability there, that and with both of them that you can get in a lesser point, and you can get more information on them in relation to them from your guidance counsellors. There I mentioned the guidance counsellor are people in certain jobs. Ask them. People maybe in your family, how do they like it, why do they do that job, and so on. The scholarships then, the elite pathways, and they're brilliant as well, where elite athletes, the colleges now are recognising that students who are playing sport at elite level have to put in the extra hours, and they're rewarding them and get them in that sense that they can get in on lesser points. And there's a few that get the scholarship every year. I was working with a few of the under 20s at the moment and helping them with the application forms there. And it is very useful there to be aware of that. So again, look at the opening days. There's a lot of information. A lot of them are virtual now, and there's a lot of webinars there. If you go on to careersportal.ie, classroom guidance, they'll tell you what's happening for the upcoming week. Work experience, another huge thing, when things are back to normal, hopefully, and maybe go outside of your comfort zone here in relation to that. You might have a part-time job somewhere, for example, in the shop. Go and get experience somewhere else, and send out emails, or if you have to hop on the bus and go travel a bit to get there, that's the way you'll find out if you like that job. Okay, I've known in the last couple of years that students that went and were sure about, right, I want to be a primary school teacher, I want to do this, and went to work experience there and came back and said, no, I don't think that's for me. Okay, so to be aware of that. Here with some of the career research tools, three I said that I most usually use at school are the Qualifax, which give me information about the courses, the modules in certain courses. It'll tell you if there's an opportunity maybe to go abroad for a year and all that, and you compare them with other courses in other colleges. At the top there on the right hand side you have the classroom guidance. Some of the tests there's more than that there, the four there at the top there, but if you get the chance, do some of those tests. You'll find out the career category tests, and it'll match you with jobs that may suit you, the career checklist and so on. And the career guidance, the careers portal here is very useful as well. It gives you information from apprenticeships to PLCs and CEO courses that are available. So we're nearly there. Things to consider. Entry requirements. So when you're choosing subjects for maybe in transition year and third year, just be aware that if you want to do science, you're obviously going to have to do a science subject. If you want to do engineering, you need to do a science subject for most engineerings, for most universities, higher level maths in most cases. Just be aware of that. And again, things to consider there as well. There might be certain colleges that accept technology as a science subject, or construction studies, or engineering in school. Okay, so to be aware of that, you might need a foreign language. Okay, but you mightn't have to you could do that at an ordinary level. It's just that you have to meet the entry requirements. So when you're applying for the CEO, the first thing they look at is have you the 6 subjects or the 5 subjects, whatever is required. The entry requirements then is there certain subjects they have to have, and then it goes on to the points that are required. Okay, is there a portfolio required? There's some courses like there could be restricted entry, for example, for the art-related courses. Open day for courses, the modules, I spoke about them already. Closing dates for a course application is another thing that you need to look at and to be aware of that. With restricted entry, for example, for medicine, that you have to have that in the 1st of February every year. Application for supplementary exam like the HPAT for medicine, and to be aware of the closing days for the Here, Dare and Susie. And as I mentioned earlier, the scholarships. So Sinead Horda, Gurmina Mahagi.
Martin, thanks so much. There was so much information there, from the goal setting to the career planning and how to access all. And we appreciate your time on a brilliant presentation and the effort you put in. And just, would you have any advice there? Some of the 14, maybe 15-year-olds might be listening there from the academy program, Martin, and they might just be saying, this isn't for me yet, it's further away for me. Would you have anything just to keep them interested there, and they might be researching, or they might be getting their mind busy with it?
The earlier you start thinking about career planning, the better. Now, I remember years back when I started as guidance counsellor, I used to mainly just focus on 4th, 5th and 6th year with it. But now I nearly start asking first years, have they an idea what they want to do. Now, how do you do that? It's all about research. And as I mentioned earlier there, those free career interest assessments on Classroom Guidance or Careers Portal, and to be aware of your interest and what you like to do. And it gives a comprehensive guide in the results. And again, it matches with careers that may suit you. So you could rule in and rule out that. Okay, that's very important. As well as part of the research, you could go on to the qualifex.ie and look at the modules involved in certain courses. Maybe a bit early, maybe you could leave it to 4th year looking at the open days. Start attending them if possible. And work experience is huge in transition year. When things go back to normal, hopefully you get opportunities to go up to 3 times even more during the year. And Careers Portal have some excellent videos on apprenticeships, PLCs, and there's a number of jobs there. So start looking at that. We're fortunate enough in the school this year. We had, as part of the business community program, they had KPMG in talking to them about various careers that they have on offer. So again, that was with the second years. It used to be done previously with transition years. So the earlier you start thinking about it, the better.
Cheers, thanks very much, Martin. Dennis, have you some questions there? Martin, I'm going to send you across onto the live screen now, just so as everyone can, so as they know that you're alive and well and you're not a phantom.
Okay, good morning.
And just a couple of questions there, Martin. Just a common question or issue that especially sports people might have is they find it hard to study. Would you have any tips for them? Like they might like a particular subject or something, and
yes,
any tips on that? Or they're busy playing football or hurling or soccer or basketball or whatever they're playing.
Absolutely, and they could be tired. It is hard to do it, but again, I think the big thing is relating back to what Jim Gavin said about controlling the controllables. Again, on the Sunday night, that you prepare the week ahead. There's a great template on studyclicks.ie there, a free template there that you can download, and you can plan the week ahead. Again, pick shorter slots. If you find it hard to study or sit down, and I mentioned it earlier, get the homework done first of all. That's the most important part, and do that as well as possible. Don't be just ticking a box. Spend, most homework will take between 10, 20 minutes. Put the time in. And then start maybe with your least favourite subject. Get that out of the way. And if you have time, then the end you might have spent more time on that. And another important thing is, I find with leaving cert students, especially in 5th and 6th year, if they're doing a lot of honour subjects, and they find they're finding it hard to get them all done, have a look at the entry requirements for the course they want to do, and speak to their teacher. The teachers will do everything to support them, or the year heads, the guidance officers, principal, vice principal in the school about it. And there could be an option there to drop to ordinary level in certain course if you're finding that difficult. Okay, and very important there as well to give that extra time to the subjects maybe that you are finding difficult. Okay.
Cheers. And just, you touched on the picking subjects for the senior cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge. Again, don't follow the crowd. You have to decide for yourself what suits you. Okay. Usually you have to pick 3 to 4 subjects. So again, are you interested in the practical subjects? Where are you going to work to the best of your ability? Again, just to be aware at the same time, you need to do that career planning. Find out if there's an entry requirement for the course you want, the course you have in mind. But pick subjects that you're comfortable with, subjects that you enjoy. Okay, that's huge. Is there a foreign language required, French, Spanish, or German? Whatever. So look at that as well. Okay.
Cheers. And just the last question.
And just on that, sorry, James. There's a lot of information on careersportal.ie. There's information on the subjects, and the subject choice explorer there is information on the results, past results from a lot of those grades from a lot of those subjects. Sorry, Dennis.
Yeah, and what we might do is we might get a handout together. With all that information on it, just with the useful websites and that. I'll send it out on the next email if that's okay.
Yeah.
And just last question here, and I know you touched on it, was an awful lot of, say, leaving cert students, like, they don't really know what they want to do afterwards.
Yeah. Again, it's research. Go back maybe and look at those interest assessments. The career assessment, the one on classroom guidance, is excellent. It only takes about 2-3 minutes, and you got they'll pick careers that may be of interest to you. And the one on careersport.ie is excellent as well. And look at that. Again, look at the modules. Look at the course outlines, the modules, the career progression. You'll get all that on qualifex.ie. Open days. If you can, attend them, hopefully. I'll be able to do that shortly. Any career events that come on, there's one there in the Options West that's on every year. But what's on this year, that's on in Salthill usually. Attend them and ask questions. Don't just go around and look at it as a day off. No such thing as a free class. Go there and ask questions. Speak to friends or relatives that are in certain jobs about their jobs. Work experience, another huge thing. Go outside the comfort zone. Look at, see and apply, send off emails or ring up and see where you could go on work experience. And the videos on Careers Portal are excellent as well. And there's some podcasts, a lot of podcasts on classroom guidance as well that are very useful.
Cheers, Martin. That was very, very good. Loads of real useful tips. And, like, I suppose, as you said, how many years are you with us in academies?
13, I think. Yeah.
So, like, each year, like, you're available to these guys. This isn't the last time they're going to hear from you, especially the 14s, 15s, 16s. You'll be with them with giving tips on education and that. If they have any other queries in that through the years.
Yeah, my email address is there. If anyone has any questions that I may be able to, if I don't know the answer, I'll go and look for it or get it elsewhere.
Yeah. So thanks very much. And
look at Martin. It's excellent to have somebody, with your expertise there, sharing it with the masses. So that's very important. And again, just my big point there to the 14 or 15-year-olds that might be just sitting there listening, thinking this isn't for me yet. Based on what I heard from Martin, it's for everybody. You need to go, you need to research, you need to get into the right subject choice, and you need to be testing the waters as to where you might think you'll be leading in life. So look at Martin. Nobody could have done it better, and we really appreciate you being part of what we've always done with our academy development, with coach education, your career guidance, their expertise as a teacher, extra to being a teacher. So look at, really appreciate it, Martin. So I'm going to hand it back to Dennis Carr. Thank you so much, and I'm going to hand it back to Dennis there just to address the group on the updates on the strength and conditioning programs that are being sent out and the athletic development. So I'll just send you across, Dennis, okay?
That's fine. Okay, so on Friday I'll be sending out the phase 2 of the athletic development program. Seamus has it updated. There's a few new exercises on it, so make sure you use the Connacht GAA video library. I'll tag that in the email that I'll be sending out to your parents, as well as an updated running program, weeks 7 and 8. So Seamus is a tailor-made that it'll get you'll be well ready to return to play on the pitches when we go back on the next few weeks. As well with the email, I'll be sending out today's recording and the date of the next webinar. So that's it, Damien. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We did a big number again, so make sure you keep up to date with the programs.
Yeah, I think we'd close on 1,200 there, Dennis. Now, depending on whether we probably had more if people came in through the browser rather than coming in through Teams. But look at in a fortnight's time, April 28th, Dennis, we've lined up JP O'Connell. He's again one of our own from Carnmore Hurling Club, and he'll be speaking and addressing in his presentation dealing with setbacks in your sporting life. So, that's going to be a live one and very important that the whole holistic approach is considered. And if you get deselected from the whole academy program, you go back to your club and JP will be giving us some cues on that. So look, that's it for now, Dennis. We want to thank everybody and thank yourself and Martan. And we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll see everybody in a fortnight. It looks like the month of May and June, we're going to leave you back to the clubs. Your clubs will be back, you'll be active, you'll be allowed to go to the fields under the new restrictions being lifted. So we will be keeping in contact with you during the summer, and we will for definitely be updating you on whether there's an opportunity there to pull everyone together in the Talent Academy squad for during the summer, and what will happen with the inter-county set up for